Hey yo, what's up ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy and welcome back to another video. Today, we bought another house and we are doing another house renovation video, but this time I bought the house with my girlfriend and we are doing something a little bit different than what we did last time. Let me bring you inside. Welcome to the ItsYeCasa. We just got the keys and this is what the place looks like right now. We are going to be renovating the kitchen, the upstairs bathroom, and the basement. Everything else will be changing decor, but for the most part will stay the same. And unlike our last reno video, we fixed that up just to rent. But this one, we are fixing up for two reasons. One, we are going to be living in it for at least a few years. And two, we are going to be turning this into a duplex so that we can rent out the basement unit while we are still living in it, and then when we move out we can rent out both the upstairs and the downstairs. It already has its own side entrance and a bathroom in the basement, so we just need to add a kitchen and do a few other fire safety related renos and electrical, and we'll be ready to rent out the basement. For the sake of this video, we are going to do each major reno as its own part so it's easier to follow along, and we will start with the upstairs bathroom.
As you can see, the demo's been done. I was spending like 4 hours scraping these floors up the other day. We're gonna be putting the shower right here. We replaced the tub, took all that out. Things are going quickly, ladies and gentlemen. It's mostly just demo day today, but we do have the tile guy coming soon. So I'll give you an update once all the demos are done and we can walk through everything. And then again, there's gonna be a lot of updates. So I'll just see you guys next time we have another update. All right guys, so we're doing a little bit of a mid-reno update right now. We are in the bathroom. As you can see, it's probably changed quite a bit since you last saw it. We've got the tiles up on our shower wall. We got the shower base in. So it's starting to come together, but before we can put the tiles on the floor, well, not we, our tile guy can put the tiles on the floor.
No shit.
I gotta take the baseboards off the entire bathroom, and I'll be honest with you guys, I've never done this before. I'd show you a little bit of the demos we're doing. Most of the stuff I'm actually doing is just demos. I don't know how to do tiling. I don't know how to do drywall, all the other things, but I'm gonna learn at some point. But this stuff, I think I can do. So,
stop the cap.
We'll show you guys this, and then we should have the bathroom done in the next couple days. All right, all the baseboards have been removed. Look at the size of these bad boys. That was, I don't know if that was harder or easier than normal, but it wasn't too bad. So now we're ready for the tile to go in. So hopefully that's tomorrow. Can't wait to show you guys that. And then the bathroom's really gonna start coming together. So this is the bathroom. Basically, the main thing is we gutted the entire bathroom and then we put in the tiling for the floor and the tiling for the shower. So we still have to add the shower door here. We do have our new shower head set up, which I think is pretty cool. This is our shower door. This is our vanity. This is our dryer. We just don't have space for it right now. And then we did get our toilet set up. That's the other thing. We have a toilet, which is great, but we don't have a door. So you can imagine how fun that is.
Welcome to our new and improved bathroom. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Again, this was a full gut job as you saw. We've got new tiles, replaced the bathtub with a shower, added a floating cabinet and sink, new mirrors, light fixtures, and even put in a custom shelving unit above the toilet. Oh, and painted. In total, this cost us a little over $6,000, but I'll get more into the financials later. For now, let's jump to the next job, the kitchen.
Into the kitchen to show you guys a quick update. We didn't want to do a lot to the kitchen because it was pretty solid already and we're not turning this into our forever home as we told you guys. So we just want to do a little update to what was clearly the worst part, and that was the click flooring that was in here before that you guys saw us remove. As you can see, we've got the tile all over the floor now. We still got to wait for our appliances to come in and then the kitchen will be pretty much done.
And while we didn't do a ton in the kitchen, this is what it looks like now versus before. As you can see, we've got our brand new stainless steel appliances all in, and we changed the flooring. And I think it makes a pretty big difference overall, despite being relatively small. And then over here, we've got one of my favorite things, which happens to be today's sponsor for the video, Dreametech. This is my Dreametech T30 cordless stick vacuum, and I love it. Right off the bat, just look at how easy it is to store. Takes up a tiny amount of space compared to a traditional vacuum, and a full charge in this lasts 90 minutes, which is more than enough to clean the entire house. It's also way easier to maneuver because it's cordless and has a lightweight carbon fiber body that you can easily bring with you everywhere, from the living room to upstairs, even to your car outside. It's also powerful with 150k RPM strong suction, which is even more than a Dyson V15 that auto adapts to the surface you are cleaning. The screen at the top also keeps you updated on the dust level within the vacuum. My old vacuum would be clogged with my girlfriend's hair and I would have no idea, but it was drastically affecting the suction power. But with the T30, you know right away if there's anything impacting the suction, so you can empty out the contents and get right back to it. Then when you're done, you just pop it back into its stand, start charging, and it'll be ready for next time. Dreametech also has a ton of other options to fit your cleaning needs, including a variety of robot vacuums that do it all from mopping to vacuuming, as well as their wet and dry vacuum, the H11 Max, that both vacuums and mops at the same time. So if you would like to get any of the Dreametech vacuums for yourself or somebody you know, check out the link in the description below. And our next renovation is to convert this old closet into a laundry unit upstairs so that Olivia and I can do our laundry separately from the basement tenant.
I'm gonna quickly show you guys the before of what this looked like, and now the after. As you can see, we removed the doors, took out the sides. We're gonna extend this wall up to here so we can put our laundry unit upstairs. Since we're making the basement unit downstairs, we need to be able to do our own laundry. This happened very quickly. They're gonna do the framing on this, so I'll give you an update then. So this is coming from our laundry unit upstairs. We needed to go all the way into the basement, so we've got the plumbing and the electrical, and then we're gonna cover over it with some drywall. I don't know if it's gonna look terrible. We're not really sure. Hopefully it's not too bad, but we'll see when it's all said and done. But basically it was the easiest way to actually plug everything in so that we could set it up. And these types of buildings aren't used to having a laundry setup upstairs, so that's why it's kind of out of the ordinary. But yeah, we've got like a hole in the floor, a hole in the ceiling, and this bad boy set up right here.
Now that we've got the laundry handled upstairs, let's move on to the most important renovation, and that is the basement apartment.
All right, so we got the floor covered. This is gonna be a little while until this is actually finished. We took out the weird corkboard wall that we had here, or door we had. We're gonna properly drywall this over so it's not so creepy. Obviously, we took out the ceilings. I think you guys saw that time lapse. We removed this one as well. So we have to get this properly fire rated so that it can be used as a secondary dwelling. But the big thing we did to the basement so far, besides the ceilings, is open up this room right here. So if you guys remember, there's a wall to about here. We took that wall down, and we're gonna be using this as the kitchen for our basement apartment. They've also started prepping for the increasing the window size over here so that you can get out in case of a fire. It's a mandatory thing. As you can see, they've removed some of this, and they'll have to do the cutting on the outside later. And then we are also gonna replace these dinky, shitty old pot light vibes with some modern, newer, better ones. So the basement's coming along. The last thing you guys probably saw was removing the drop ceiling, so that's gone. We've had to put in some extra insulation, and then we are gonna be installing drywall soon. As you guys saw, we took out the wall, we started framing the kitchen. We've also realized that we can kind of adjust our initial plan so the kitchen can be way bigger by giving access to the furnace room from right there. We're gonna put in a door there. We got all the electrical work done, all the plumbing done, and now it's basically time to put in the drywall. So in the next couple days, they're gonna be doing that. Once we're done installing the drywall, and by we, I mean the people who are doing, I'm not doing that, but we are gonna then be able to put in the kitchen, which is gonna look great. I think this whole area is gonna be a huge, huge difference. So I can't wait for that to all be done. I'm gonna show you one other thing. For anyone who has never done renos, I just want to kind of tell you guys about the experience of living in a house while you're doing the renovation. So last time we weren't living in it for that video. We were able to do the renos, leave, go home, sleep comfortably, do all of those things you would normally do. But because we are living in this house, it definitely impacts your lifestyle. So it's not ideal, but in the long run, it's going to pay off. So we're more than happy to do it. But just to give you guys an idea as to what we're dealing with, obviously obviously the bathroom upstairs is not finished, and they're doing a lot of work down here. So we have to make sure we shower at night when nobody's here. We have to come to the bathroom. Sometimes the contractors are in the middle of working. Fortunately, we finally got a toilet upstairs so we could use that one. But for a few days, we did not even have a toilet upstairs. And obviously this area is a bit of a mess because, well, there's open ceiling. They've been doing work. We've got lights hanging down from all over the place. They were doing plumbing work in here earlier. So it's been a mess, and it's not ideal for your bathroom setup, but this is what we've been having to deal with. It's not too bad in the long run, but it's definitely not ideal. And if you guys were wondering, we're not really doing anything in here. It's pretty much gonna stay the same.
We do not care.
The basement renos are finally complete, and this is what it looks like. It took us way longer than anticipated, mostly because of supply chain issues and the big P word, but it's done, and we actually got a tenant in before I remembered to film some final B-roll to show off the renos, but we do have some photos that you're looking at right now. As you can see, we replaced the ceilings and added pot lights, painted all the walls, increased the window size, and added a full kitchen. I'm honestly very happy with how it turned out, and I know you're all waiting for the financials, but before we can get into that, we had an unexpected surprise problem to deal with. After buying our place, we noticed a damp spot on the wall in our basement, which can be an indicator that you have foundation issues, which is potentially the worst issue you can have with a house and could cost a boatload of money. So we had Ardel Concrete come in and dig up the back wall to see how serious the issue might be and fix it.
So how's it look?
Good, the wall's in great shape.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Little spots here, with these ones will grind out tomorrow.
So do you think that's all it was? It wasn't the weeping tiles shot, or?
I don't think so. The weeping tiles, it looks like in terrific shape. We'll see tomorrow once we lift them out.
Okay.
But other than that, no.
Nice.
I mean, the wall looks in terrific shape.
Okay, well that's
Really
good.
Great shape.
So it should be an easy fix then?
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
Firstly, I have to say Ardel Concrete was absolutely amazing. So if you live in Ottawa and you have any foundation issues, I highly recommend them. I'm going to put a link to their website in the description down below. But as you can see in our instance, we were fortunate and it hadn't turned into a weeping tile issue, which is a whole other thing that I'm not going to get into. But basically, they were able to put in a bunch of different preventative measures, as you can see, to limit the possibility of water seeping into the basement, and it only ended up costing us $5,000, which might sound like a lot, but because we caught it early and put in all these preventative measures, it should save us from having more serious issues down the road that could be $30,000 or more. Again, quick thank you to Ardel Concrete for helping us out with this, and now let's get to the financial breakdown. Okay, this is my favorite part of the entire video. I know the renos is fun and everything, but this is something I really hope you guys stick through till the end for, because I think this is really valuable information, and I wish somebody had told me this stuff when I was younger and that I'd listened to them when I was younger. So first things first, how much was the house? $613,000 was the sale price. We were really happy with it. I know depending on where you live, that might sound like a very cheap house or a very expensive house, but that's not really that important for this video. We put 10% down, which was $61,300, split between two people, a little over $30,000 each. I don't know if I mentioned it at any point, but this is a single family home with 3 bedrooms, a basement, a large backyard, and no garage, but our own driveway. Now let's get into the renovation costs. So as you guys know, the main renovations we did was basement, kitchen, laundry unit, bathroom, and foundation. So the first job you guys saw us do was the full gut of the bathroom, which cost us about $6,500. We did do a little bit of work, but for the most part, we had contractors come in to help us out. So this does include the cost of materials as well as paying the laborers to actually do the work. The second was the kitchen, which only cost us $2,000 since all we did was replace the flooring. Next was the laundry unit, which was a small but very important job, and that cost us $3,500. Again, we needed to do this in order to make the basement renovation possible and allow us to not have to share a laundry unit with our basement tenant. You could kind of group this in with the basement, but just for simplicity, I'm separating it. And then moving on to the basement itself, which was obviously the biggest job, that cost us about $20,000. It was supposed to be a little bit cheaper, but we had some delays and supply chain shortages because of COVID, so that hiked up the price a little bit, but you might be able to do it for a little bit cheaper depending on the time of year and if you don't have a global pandemic to deal with. And lastly, of course, we had our surprise $5,000 expense with the foundation. So in total, we spent $37,000 on renovations. And when you add that to our down payment for the house, it actually worked out to be a nice even 100 grand that we had to put down in order to get the house and get it into the shape that we wanted it to be in for us to live in and to have a tenant in the basement. Now, I understand 100 grand up front can sound like a lot. Fortunately, we were splitting it between two people, so that makes it a little bit less. And you don't need to get a $600,000 home. As you saw in my previous video, I got a $300,000 home and turned that into a rental unit. So there are different ways that you can do this. And if you're a first-time home buyer, at least in Ontario, then you can put as little as 5% down to make it more reasonable for you to save up that initial lump sum of cash to get into real estate investing. But we're not gonna go too deep into all of that today. My goal is basically just to show you somebody doing it so that you start to look into it. I am not like a super reliable resource. You definitely wanna do some research, okay? But here's the financial benefit to doing something like this if you can save up enough cash to invest it in real estate instead of renting or something along those lines. So speaking of renting, just a straight comparison from renting to owning, we'll start with that. Previously, Olivia and I were renting, so we were spending $3,300 a month on rent, and that money just evaporated. It went to pay somebody else's mortgage. But now we're paying a $2,600 mortgage on this property. Obviously, right off the bat, $700 less a month that we're paying, and half of it is going into a forced savings account as opposed to paying off somebody else's mortgage. So right away, that's a win. Then you have to factor in that we have a tenant in the basement, and that tenant is paying about $1,200 a month, which is almost half of our mortgage payment. So when you factor that in, we're spending $1,400 a month, not including utilities and property taxes and other things like that. Just trying to make this as simple to follow as possible. So when you add all those numbers together, we are saving about $1,900 a month when we switched from renting to owning and then having a tenant in the basement with a converted duplex.
I'll be damned.
So already, I'd say that's a dub.
Oh shit.
Now, the next thing we want to take a look at is the basement specifically and the investment of spending that $20,000 on renovating the basement. So it cost us 20 grand to do the basement, and we are getting $1,200 every month, which means a little over a year from now, we will have already paid off the investment into the basement, and then everything from there forward is just gravy. It's just extra money that we have coming in that we would not have had otherwise. Moving on from the basement, we do plan on living here for a few years, but we're not going to stay here forever. And our goal is when we move out of here in, let's say, 3 years, we are going to rent both the top and the bottom. Based off of rental projections in our area, I expect that we should be able to rent the top for about $2,500 a month in a couple years, which means in total, this will be generating $3,700 a month in revenue. And as you guys know, our mortgage payments are only $2,600 a month. After property taxes and other expenses, I expect that this property will be generating $800 a month in positive cash flow. Now, rent is going to continue to go up over time, but even if we don't factor rent increases into this property is going to generate over $240,000 in positive cash flow over the next 25 years in today's dollars. And as crazy as that might sound, that's not the best part. The best part is this. Using 1991 to 2021, I calculated the average yearly appreciation of a home in Ottawa to be 4.7%. But just to be extra careful, we'll use 3.5%. And that would put the property value of this house at $2.36 million in 25 years, completely paid off. So at that point, we could either sell the property and have a $2 million plus retirement fund on our hands, or we could keep renting it out. And based off of rental inflation, we project that it would be about $9,000 a month in positive cash flow with no mortgage payments. So all of that money would be coming to us, and that could be our retirement plan as well. So it's flexible to be whatever you need at the time. Now, you do have to keep in mind $9,000 or that $2.4 million we're talking about is in future dollars. And so it won't be the same as $9,000 today or $2 million today, but it's still a large amount of money considering we both put in 50 grand up front on day one, and that's it. In theory, at least, there shouldn't be much more money that has to go into the property over the next 25 years for it to turn into a $2.5 million property. Now I get if you don't have 100 grand or you don't have a partner to help split that cost right now. Like I said earlier, depending on where you live, there are a ton of different first-time home buyer incentive programs. So you might be able to get a house for cheaper. And obviously you don't have to buy a $600,000 house. Now I do want to say not all real estate is perfect. You do want to do some research. You do want to make sure you get a good real estate agent to help you out with some of these things, especially if it's the first time you're getting into it. The reason I'm telling you guys this isn't so that you just go out and buy the first house you see. It's so that you start doing a little bit more research and seeing if this is a good investment for you right now, or in the future, you can start saving towards it. So hopefully you found that interesting. I know it's a little bit technical, but I tried to keep it as simple as possible. Trust me, you can go way deeper on all of these topics. And if that's something you'd like to see me do, be sure to let me know in the comment section down below. And also, if you want to see more videos like this, let me know. Smash that like button. Happy holidays to everybody, because I think this video is coming out before the holidays. So it's good to see you guys again. I know I haven't been uploading as much recently, but I do plan to start getting back to it in some capacity in the new year. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you next time. Toodles!